Welcome to the show, everyone. I am so excited about bringing two newbies with me right now, and I'm excited about this. We are live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to share the show later on. My first guest is Matthew Mesouras. Hope I say it right. Mesouras, I think it is. He is the owner of Legacy Funding. Welcome to the show. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me so
much.
Right
into the mic, so everybody can hear you, just like that.
Legacy Funding, we plan on helping our clients plan, protect, and retire with peace of mind. And I've been in the industry for over 16 years.
Well, let me talk a little bit about that, because, when I say fast, I didn't mean that fast, but I'm going to tell you what I think. First of all, it's very important for people to get their papers together. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're planning, what they want for themselves. A lot of people put their heads in the sand when it comes to this. I don't know why. You do a special. You're going to offer something really special for people that are listening to the show. It's a 50% discount off of it's a comprehensive estate planning documentation. That's a lot to say. And I just want you to kind of talk a little bit about what that is and what they get with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it is a real comprehensive package. At the centerpiece of that is your revocable trust. That's something that's important to protect your estate from probate, from getting caught in any sort of being contested or litigation. Or, probate court can take months and years. So that includes a living trust, medical directives. Those are living benefits of that trust, where if something happens to you and you're incapacitated, that's documented and on file with your primary care physician. We not only facilitate that process, but we take it one step further into the actual funding of the trust, making sure that your property, the deed, is then assigned into that trust. About 50% of the estates out there don't actually get properly funded, so it's a big part of what we do.
Would you say that is the difference between estate planning and legacy funding?
Yeah, legacy planning and legacy funding, absolutely.
Big difference. So a lot of times people say, well, I'll go to my attorney, right? Or they might even go to a document preparer, right? What's the difference between what you do?
Yeah, that's a good point. And so we not only help you facilitate the documentation process, but the implementation process is the funding part of it. The third part is then the asset protection and optimization. So really it's three parts to the process, and typically you're only getting one of those three with those services you mentioned.
When you work with people, do you do a complimentary consultation with them?
Yeah, we prefer to have a 15-minute discovery call just to make sure that our process is a good fit for them.
Okay, and you said you're licensed in 40-plus states. How important is that? Obviously, we're here in Arizona, but there's a lot of people that live in dual states, or even more. Does that come into play with you with that?
Yes, it does. There's people that have moved around, especially here in Arizona, right? You don't have a lot of people that are from here that end up here, but you have properties in multiple states. If you do have rental properties in multiple states, that's a good reason. If you don't already have something like this set up, to give us a call.
I think the best thing to do is to have that 15-minute discovery call. I think it's so important. Also, so important to make sure that that it's done correctly. Funded is also huge. Not just done, but done correctly, funded correctly. The phone number to call is 480-944-1343. His website is legacyfunding.com. So the process, it's different than other similar services. Is your process different?
It is, and as we mentioned, it's more comprehensive. Not only are you going to be able to get the documentation in place at an affordable price. Again, we're focused on servicing the middle market, the people that don't think that they need something like this or that they can't afford it. So that's really the barrier that we're trying to bring down for folks. And then taking it a step further and making sure that the plan gets implemented. That's why it's a legacy planning process for us. Over half of these, estate planning trusts they get set up don't get properly implemented, and that just comes right back to, again, usually the people that set it up to then fix the mess, and that turns into more fees.
Oh,
right?
yeah, fix the mess, and then, of course, if it goes into probate, that's a huge mess. Mm-hmm. Who benefits the most from this, from what you do?
As I touched on, really the folks that perhaps know they needed to take care of this, but they just haven't. They haven't, the time, or they're afraid of what it's going to cost. We're making it very affordable via this offer.
50% off he's offering for the people that hear this show. That's a great discount, considering that you're getting a comprehensive estate planning documentation that includes everything.
Absolutely. So that brings the cost down to $995. And this is definitely something that, again, we make it affordable to start with, so that's practically giving it away.
And I also want to make it a point, too, to say that it's not just doing the papers, it's also funding it. There's a lot more that go involved than just doing it, correct?
That's correct.
Right, and that's what makes him somebody that, whether it's you or someone, if you have assets, right? Mm-hmm. It's all about protecting the assets, and I will tell you, I've seen it happen. My ex-mother-in-law might say, I'm sure you're listening, hey, but you know what? Got in an accident, big accident, and you know what? It was her fault, and luckily that was funded correctly, because if the house wasn't in the trust, which sometimes happens if you don't do it correctly, guess what? Boom, they would have gone right after that too, without, and they got a lot. So the point that I'm saying is a lot of people don't like talking about this, but let me tell you something, folks. It's the most important conversation you probably should have. One of the most important conversations. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Right.
If it's not for yourself, it could be your children, especially if there's any special needs children in the family. This plan does have a provision for special needs children, making sure that the assets are set up properly so that their disability benefits are not disrupted.
Do you work with a lot of families that do have special need children?
We do, and we receive a lot of referrals from those families.
Here's the thing too. A lot of people today, I don't know what it is, but I find that I've more friends, more people that I know. Everyone either has somebody or knows somebody who does have special needs today. So important that you make sure that you speak to somebody, obviously, who's educated on this, who that's what he does. He helps you, but also making sure that things are funded correctly. That is so, so huge. Yes, having the papers is really important, but also funded correctly. His phone number, again, it's 480-944-1343. It's legacyfunding.com, and he's offering a 50% discount right now for the people that hear this show. Real quickly, we're almost done here. If people, what does it say? You also mentioned the funding of the trust. I don't hear many people talk about that. Well, we've been talking about it the whole time. Why is it so important?
It just doesn't happen half of the time, right?
Because most of the people don't do it.
It will, or it's an upcharge. So,
okay. Oh, that's another point.
Yeah.
So you mean you can go to an attorney and they'll even upcharge you for that?
Typically, yeah, it is. So really, that's where the rubber meets the road. I mean, you want to make sure that it's in place and working for you, protecting you, and carrying out your wishes. So
is there anything else that they should know about legacy planning in this process that you want them to know real quickly?
Just that we do work in over 40 states, so whether it's yourself or a relative, odds are we're set up to facilitate the process.
Here's the other thing, folks. The other thing is that a lot of people don't realize that you may not just die, right? You could be incapacitated, which is not a good thing. So we've got our lines open here for everyone to get that discount from us. It's a 50% discount if you hear it, and you can tell him yourself by calling him direct. His phone number is 480-944-1343. The website is legacyfunding.com.